Well, welcome back to the Empire of Rust. And here we've got a project that normally doesn't even make it into the editing room. It's an old home light weed eater. Yeah, nothing special about this unit, although it does have the Death Star on it. So you might be wondering why I'm making a video of the lowly weed eater. Well, this was a recent auction buy. And I use the term buy lightly because, as you know me, I don't like spending much money. Anyways, I just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time when choice of a couple of weed eaters came up on the auction block, and it got all the way down to $1. Nobody was bidding on these two. There was a couple of home light weed eaters. Well, I don't know why. Impulse reaction, whatever. Threw my hand up. $1 bill. Yeah, guess what? I came home with them. Now, I really had no intention on buying weed eaters for $1. But, you know, at that price point, I just couldn't let them go. So, you know, for $1, you can't really go wrong, right? I mean, of course you can. I mean, something went wrong outside there. I don't know where that siren was going, but... So I got these two for $1. I hadn't even rolled them over to see if they had compression before I bought them. So I gave them a pull as I was loading them into the truck. Sure enough, they turned over. Seemed like they had some compression. Maybe $1 wasn't too bad. Maybe this is similar to animal rescue shelter syndrome, you know. You just can't let this thing sit there forlorn and lonely. So when there's a whole bunch of people standing there, literally saying that something isn't even worth $1, it's kind of a mission, I guess you could say, to prove them wrong and see actually what the value is of that piece of junk that's sitting there. And it's a bit of a gamble because you never know. It could be completely scrap. But in this case, actually turned out that we did alright on that deal. They roll over with good compression. Well, the recoil used to work. Yeah, now it's short. Might as well scrap it. Alright, it's back. So anyways, we cleared off the table. Well, not really. But we worked on just throwing some new fuel lines on there. I mean, heck, even though those are good Tygon fuel lines, still probably only cost like $1 or, yeah, maybe $1 worth of fuel line, if that. Now, most times the carburetor ends up needing a diaphragm, or at a minimum going through and cleaning it. But sure enough, we put some new fuel lines on there, washed out the rancid old gas out of the tank, put some fresh stuff in there, cranked it over about a couple dozen times, and bam, off she went. Started running. So, I mean, you know, pretty awesome that you can get something for $1. Put about 50 cents worth of parts into it, and there you go. You got yourself a running lawn maintenance item. And it's almost a bit of, you take a bit of pride in being able to take something that was basically worthless, put a little bit of elbow grease into it, and bam, it's back to running, you know. If people weren't so accustomed to the throwaway society that we're in today, you know, maybe they'd actually try to fix more stuff. But often, it just sits in the corner for a while. Somebody needs it. They try it once, and if it doesn't work, yep, throw it out. Go buy a new one. I mean, heaven knows there's enough repair videos out there on YouTube. Basically, you can fix anything out there. I mean, there's a step-by-step instructional pictorial with a parts list on it if you really look. So in the end, it's not like I needed another weed eater. I've probably got about a half dozen of them just sitting around that I've pulled out of the trash, or people have anonymously dropped off in the driveway when I wasn't looking. But this one was kind of a mission. This was a rescue mission. For $1, you know, rather than letting this thing go for no sale and probably get hucked into the dumpster, not a whole lot of work, and it's back in action. Another tour of duty. Now, say you picked this thing up, tried to work on it, ends up being that it is trash, not worth repairing. Worst thing that happened is you're out $1. I'm sure you spent a lot more than that at the vending machine at work, and you probably felt a lot worse afterwards. But even when you try, at least you learn something. You know, you'll figure out the internals, maybe, know what to look for next time, and heck, good practice. So you can't even say that that dollar was wasted at that point. Whoa, somebody put the old mower out here in the scrap pile. This thing used to run. I don't think it's not ready for this. I think this mower is about as old as I am, but it always seemed to fire up and keep running no matter what. Not sure how. Yeah, made in USA. Let's see here. No date. It's a little bit rough around the edges. It's not frozen up. This thing's been sitting on the dirt in the boat shed for like, I don't know, probably 8 years or so. I know last time it was running, the cable thing wasn't working anymore for the propulsion, so it just stays in gear. Still got some oil in it. Yeah, what's left of some gas. Well, throw some fuel in there, see what happens. Don't want to put too much. Pull start handle's gone, and we got about a little bit over 1.5 feet to get it to go. Unbelievable. Thing's the Energizer Bunny, and it literally won't stop since it doesn't shut off.